As we're moving into this particular section of how to use the integrity cards, I wanted to underline something I've been noticing in the world in just the last couple of weeks, that the wobble is pretty extreme right now in my experience, and there's sort of a jangle that's going on in the collective. And so my sense is that this is a really important time to be giving that circulation of attention to yourself. People have been breaking things, having accidents. So my mind so far has been going on environmentally. And so I'm doing my best to just keep breathing and moving and humming with the next unexpected thing. So I would like to invite you to be really claiming your own creativity. When we talk about the responsibility principle, most people get really hung up. Now, I want you to be continuing because see, I saw a whole bunch of you get serious and stop moving and stop breathing. So this is a great opportunity. You say the word responsibility and like, "Ugh," everybody, it's like, "Ugh." So most people have that somatically confused with blame, whose fault is this, or burden. That responsibility is a heavy burden and somebody's got to take it. So, it takes us into victim and simultaneously with villain. So, responsibility is a really, really big deal. And I want to redefine, and I experience taking responsibility as actually reclaiming my creativity. I'm reclaiming my creativity consciously because I've been using it unconsciously. So you'll probably forget that. And, that's part of why I'm wanting to do the reweaving class for a year, because I really do think it's going to take that long to form our new infrastructure, internal infrastructure that works from sourcing our own aliveness and sourcing our own ability to respond. And so for me, that's the heart of responsibility. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to bring up the card, and I'd like us to practice what we were just doing with the card. And I'll tell you more about that in just a second. So what I'd like to have you do is to look at the collage. And I'd like you to be, as you look at the collage, add either breathing, and or movement. And then bring your attention back to you as you're looking at the card, the collage, and adding in and adding in breathing and adding in easy movement. And I'd like you to just do that a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, of giving it your attention to the card and letting your attention wander around on the card, noticing what draws your attention while you're humming and breathing and moving. And then bringing that back to you and noticing where your attention wants to land in your own body. So, this big skill here, you're going to forget. I'll start talking and you'll forget. And when you remember, simply shift your attention and add and breathing and moving. This particular card has been the skill here has been incredibly important to me. And I'd like you to hear the sentence and hear the question. And you're going to be doing loop of awareness because as you're listening, you have your attention probably going out mostly through your ears, and you're listening to me, and you may be looking at the card as well. And then give your attention to what's going on inside. So that you're letting it shift between listening and looking and feeling. I get curious about how I create the results that are occurring in my life. I get curious about how I create the results that are occurring in my life. So here's a couple of cool things about this. So listen, it doesn't say I am curious, it says I get curious, which means you can get curious. And the get curious move that is very reliable is hmm, hmm. So something unexpected happens. And rather than going, what? Shifting into, you can get curious. And then notice it says, I get curious about how. It doesn't say I get curious about why, which for most of us takes us up into our head into an endless regress about how did that happen? And who did that? And where did that come from? But how takes us to what am I actually doing? And might that have a relationship to the result? So we're actually practicing loop of awareness because something happens and then I get curious about what does that have to do with me? That's the key move. Not the result that you get, the answer that you get, but the question, the wondering, the hmm. And when I get curious about the results that I'm creating, I claim more and more conscious choice over what I am actually doing, rather than just being on the gerbil wheel and reacting to things that are coming at me. So notice you can grow your ability to get curious and you can grow your ability to explore how you are creating the results that are occurring in your life. Now, take a moment and just let yourself do some wiggling, moving, and breathing before we move into the question. So you might stand up if you've been sitting, you might move around a little bit. You can make your movement bigger or smaller or add in some sound because you're all muted. So you can add in wonderful sounds in addition to the hmm. Beautiful. Now I'd like you to do the same thing with the question, which is listening and then letting your attention go into your body, listening, letting your attention go into your body and adding in breathing, moving as feels pleasant to you. How can I notice what unintentional commitments and beliefs are driving the results I experience in my life? Whoa, that's a biggie. So, how can I notice what unintentional commitments or beliefs are driving the results I experience in my life? So, when we're not claiming our creativity, most of what we're doing is unintentional. I'm just reacting, and I'm primarily reacting from fear. So let yourself add in some fear melters right now. And I'd like you to actually inquire about maybe there was something that happened recently, something that comes into your mind where you're going, whoa, how did that happen? Or what was that about? And getting curious and wondering about the actual result that you're producing. And what is that telling you? So it could be telling you, for example, oh, I had a feeling I didn't express. And so now my actions are expressing it for me. I made an agreement that I didn't really want to make. And so I just forgot. So the unintentional commitments and beliefs could be, for example, if somebody invites me to something, I have to say yes. And you haven't challenged that. So you just say yes. And then your body says no for you in an unconscious way. Or someone asks you to do something and you feel, oh, they're giving me attention. Nobody's giving me attention in a while. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that, even though I don't know if that's really in my zone of genius. I don't even like that. But, oh, but I'll get to hang out with this person. So this can this and breathing and considering this question of getting curious about the results is a very fast through line into being able to take more and more creative responsibility for your life. So let's come on back into the big group. Ah, and I'd like you to take a moment to now assess your baseline. So, what's your aliveness baseline or your stress baseline? And has that shifted? Great. I'm seeing some thumbs up. Now, if somebody got totally depressed while doing this, let's hear about this in the chat because we need to come and rescue you right away. So, letting yourself, the first thing that happens for most people is freezing or going into a fear reaction, and simply shifting your attention can allow you to open up your bigger creative possibilities, which have everything to do with responsibility and nothing to do with blame and burden. So, for those of you who want to continue this discussion or maybe share something that shifted for you with the big group or ask a question of other people, please feel free to stay on the call and just take a moment here and let your attention shift between you and other people that you see, giving some loving attention to you, giving some loving attention to other people on the call, so that we know we can do this even though we're not in person. We can experience nutrients and filling our own reservoirs even over the airwaves. So thank you for filling my reservoir and for assisting me to help you fill your reservoir. And until next time, mwah, and many blessings, and I'll see you next week.